Real Betis 2, Barcelona 2, and one statement to describe how I feel after this game is I'm over this. And precisely what I'm over is these bum players being involved in Barcelona because I've watched Barcelona for enough years now where I've seen players perform superbly well just for it to be ruined on the biggest stage or ruined in the league with these little miniature losses by players who are just bums. You talk about Messi 2019, you talk about Neymar back then, you talk about these players that are really good, and their losses were just soiled by these bums who would play. You had like Longley, you had Andre Gomes, you had Alej Vidal, you had a bunch of players who should have been nowhere near Barcelona based on legacy, based on skill level, based on name wise. Anything you could name, anything you could think of, they should have been near Barcelona. And you have players like that now as well. The players I'm going to mention now, fair enough, they were given chances and they had potential. But at this point, they should have been long gone. These players are De Jong, Guam, send them to Guam. Ferran Torres, Guam. Koundé, if he continues like this, he's getting fried by every left wing on the planet. Guam. There's a bunch of players that are young. I know they're young, but there's other young players playing as well, and they're not whack. They're not bad. For example, Gerard Martin, Hector Fort, Guam, and I think it's time for Laporta to start making boss calls. The club's getting back to a stable financial state. It's time to start making boss calls because these players cannot be involved in this team, and the club will not progress to the next level unless these boss calls are made. On the actual game, though, there is never a point in history where Barcelona should be allowing, because that's what they did. They allowed Real Betis to walk all over them for the majority of the game. Real Betis created better chances, more chances. I'm not sure if they had more possession or not, but they had enough of the ball to make it look like they were dominating the whole play, and that should never be the case since the history, since the dawn of football. Barca has always been the better team, and they should not be letting Real Betis walk all over them. Not pre World War II, not post Berlin Wall, nothing. There should never be a time when that happens. Barca allowed it to happen today. They've once again shown that they cannot remain consistent in this current period from November to now. They have been very poor in La Liga. They've dropped too many points and failed to capitalize on Madrid's shortcomings. And today, Madrid also won against Girona. And if they win their game in hand now they will be another point ahead of Barcelona. It's not good. It's not consistent enough. I know they've been doing good in the UCL. It should not be the case where you're just playing well in the UCL. You should be playing well and consistent in all competitions. In the game, though, listen, the first goal Barcelona scored was sublime. That was a great goal. It was a great pass from Yamal into Pedri, made a good run into the between lines. Pedri with a nice first time pass to Koundé. Koundé with a nice assist, and it's a good finish. It was a good team goal. It was a wonderful play for Barcelona. The second goal Barca scored, I forgot who scored it. It was Ferran Torres. Yeah, it was Yamal. Yamal started carrying once a team in the second half needed someone to carry them. Once they started, conceding a lot of chances, conceding the goals to Real Betis, and Yamal started carrying. It was a wonderful assist to Ferran Torres. But other than that goal, which my grandma could have scored, he didn't do anything. In fact, he did only bad things. He didn't do anything good. He did everything bad. Poor touches, poor dribbling, poor passing, poor everything. And that's why I've said in the beginning of the video, I'm over this. I'm over these players being involved in this club. I've watched enough of this team play for this to be my opinion. I've watched over 10 or 11 years of Barcelona, and I think it's fair enough for me to think that this is the case with these players currently, or at least some of these players. Um, Fair play to Real Betis. Listen, Real Betis, I know I said Barca should never be letting them dominate, and they should never be allowing that because Barca is obviously a stronger club historically. They're a better squad, and they have better players technically, but Real Betis is no joke, and Manuel Pellegrini is one of the managers that has proven over the course of his career he did it. He did it well at Man City. He's doing well at Real Betis now, and they're consistently a team that manages to get top eight, top seven, top six in La Liga, and they do it without playing anti-football, without playing park the bus. They know how to attack. They sign players like Isco. They sign players like Lo Celso. They have a bunch of well-rounded players who know how to attack. They have good creators. They have good attackers. They have good midfielders. They're not like these teams like Getafe who just sit back. So if you're gonna go to away at the Benito Villamarin, which is a very difficult stadium to play at, you better be there and you better be prepared because Real Betis will make you pay. Barca learned that today. Hopefully they learned that today. Hopefully it's not just they went there and didn't learn anything, because if they didn't learn anything from today's performance, that's a league done. Um, the goals that were scored were decent. I know some of the players got rest. Lewandowski got rest today. Not too much, but he did get some rest. Rafinha got rest. If anyone, actually got rest today, was Rafinha, because he got subbed off a bit earlier, around like the 60th, 70th minute. The players, Hansi Flick wants the team to be ready for the Dortmund game in the week. That's fair play, but this game should have still been won, especially the way to concede those two goals. De Jong came in, and the penalty he gave away is just textbook De Jong. He has been so poor for Barcelona. To be honest, since he signed, he's only had good moments here and there. He's never been consistently good for a period of time, and it's been very disappointing considering what he was at Ajax, considering how much the club paid for him, and it's time for players like him to go. He came in and didn't do anything but literally start the comeback of Betis, and the second goal that was conceded, once again, it was up to De Jong. De Jong, poor marking, poor defending from him. He is so lethargic. I can remember from last season, that goal Vitinha scored in the Champions League when PSG turned it around in the first leg to make it 2-1 right after halftime. De Jong was static. He does not know where to be. When the players around him are moving at maximum intensity, he doesn't know where to be. He can't handle the pressure of, marking, finding someone to mark, making a quick pass. He has to take touches. He has to take like 10 touches on the ball before he makes a pass. And it's time to go. It's time to go. I could ramble on about De Jong for another video. I could post about him for 2 hours, and I could continuously talk without stopping on De Jong. But he's one of the players that needs to go. It was just overall poor defending. Uh, Outside of Yamal, not enough attacking. Olmo didn't provide enough today, unfortunately. Lewandowski didn't provide enough today, unfortunately, other than that tap in. And even Rafinha, he wasn't poor. He was just like, he just didn't impose himself like he has every other game this season. But I'm not gonna blame Rafinha. I'm not gonna blame Yamal. I'm gonna blame the players that have never been really good for Barcelona. So it's time for them to go. It's time for Laporta to make boss calls, and it's time for Barcelona to really get it together in La Liga, because the fact that Madrid has the ability to take over Barcelona with considering their game in hand is a disgrace, because I can tell you right now, the way Madrid have won games this season has been woeful. They've either won games off of, uh, you know, jamminess, like it's foot champs, like it's FIFA. They've won games off of referee calls, or they've won games off straight pure luck, because they have performed even worse than Barcelona. And to be fair, Barca have not performed bad in La Liga. They've just had this recent run where they performed poorly. They've been inconsistent. Other than that, they've steamrolled. They've scraped every team. We all know what we saw from Barcelona from August to the start of November, the end of October. We all know what we saw. They were the obvious out and out best team on the planet. Now it's Liverpool. It's time for the team to pick it up again, and do not let Madrid overtake them, because it should not, off merit, off of what everyone's seen this season, it should not be the case. Let me know what you guys think. Uh, I know I started the video, Real Betis 2, Barcelona 2. I didn't talk too much about the game. I talked about more about players who need to go. I talked about more about the situation with Barca and La Liga overall. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video.